I know it's a shock, guys, but Buck Lemon can write good episodes sometimes. Of course, someone else, probably Dab, could have ghostwritten some or even most of this episode, but if it was Buck Lemon, I'm ready to give them a little round of applause because the dialogue was solid, there was some really interesting character moments. Of course, someone died, but considering the shit they usually write, this was kind of a masterpiece. Jack is naturally curious about Lucifer, and I respected his desire to get to know his father. I also understood Dean and Cass being all daddy Stiel about the whole thing. This conflict wasn't forced or stupid. Lucifer is a tricky bastard, so him talking to Jack could have fucked things up for the good guys, but it thankfully didn't. Jack is still Jack, but is Lucifer still Lucifer? I loved Gabriel and Lucifer's scenes because we know the history of their relationship and we can imagine that they were once very close, but we've never seen this relationship on screen except for one scene in season 5. But Richard and Mark played it like they've been scene partners a million times before, and both of them brought out something in the other that we haven't seen from either of them in the show before. For me, those scenes were easily the best part of the episode. All of the dialogue with Jack, Gabriel, and Lucifer was kinda recycled from season 5. Lucifer's speech in the end especially, but hey, they want to copy some of the words from the best writer this show has ever had. I'm not particularly inclined to complain. It's Mark and Richard that made those scenes something special. Mark took Lucifer to a place where he was brought to tears. That was some amazing work. So was him looking torn at the end of the episode about possibly betraying Jack. Lucifer is still feeling like Lucifer to me, not the whiny ass or joke character that he's been earlier this season. As I've said before, I've never hated villain decay in a character more than I do Lucifer. Lucifer is not a villain who should decay. Anyway, Bobby was awesome in this episode. I loved Dean's comment about when he and the other hunters got back to the regular world, how Bobby was already taking over the place. That was so cute. There were a few awe moments in this episode, like welcome to the family, and whatever reason I have a good feeling about the two of you. Bobby's just wonderful, and Dean and Sam hugging, there's nothing to apologize for, was so sweet, as was when Sam hugged Charlie and she's kind of like, who the fuck are you? I wasn't brought to tears by any of the moments in this episode, but it did tug at my heartstrings a few times. We finally met Apocalypse World Castiel, and I have to say, I kind of think it was a missed opportunity. At first, I was confused why his eye was blinded or milky, but someone pointed out how when he was brainwashed in the flashback scenes of Heaven in season 8 by Naomi, she was inserting something into his eye. So that's been done to the Castiel in Apocalypse World so much that his vessel's eye is damaged. So that makes sense, especially since we know, also from season 8, that Castiel was a rebel for humans before he met the Winchesters. It's just that they emboldened him so much to be who he really is that Heaven doesn't have a hold on him anymore. That's really interesting, but like none of that subtext is actually in this character. He has on this Nazi outfit and this weird kind of Russian accent, and he's evil and he tortures people and then he dies. It's just kind of a shrug. The suggestion of this character's history is more interesting than who we actually see on screen. I suppose it's kind of interesting that our Castiel tortures a person in this episode too, but I feel like that's not given a whole lot of weight and it's there and we just kind of move on from it. And Gabriel died. That's sad, obviously. I really would have liked if they actually had him do something more for Heaven and the remaining angels, but I guess that's not to be. I suppose it's enough that he learned a lesson about not being selfish, but they could have easily done way more with him. To close off on an angry note, Mary pissed me off again. She was gonna stay in Apocalypse Land after everything Sam and Dean did to get there. It's official. Bobby is Sam and been Dean's only good parent. Anyone remember last season and what she did to her boys that she supposedly loves so much? Because I sure do. She clearly had no plans to do any penance towards her children for teaming up with the people who tortured Sam and then later almost killed both of them. What the hell is wrong with this woman? My heart broke for Dean. He has such severe abandonment issues and Mary just doesn't fucking care. Christ, that was so painful for me to watch. But I guess it's okay because Sam came up with a plan to bring all those hunters back to our world and had a good speech to convince them all to come, so I guess it all worked out in the end. I'm still mad at Mary though, but let's see what the season finale is. Sayonara and auf Wiedersehen.